Entertainment.
What's good, everybody? What's good, everybody? Friday night. We trying to get to it. Tell them to lower their voices, not so loud. Okay, I don't see it. I don't see it yet. What's up, y'all? What's good? We out here, home of the wave. We out here. Titi Barber, what's up? I see you. Friday night. Wild Cherry Pepsi Fridays. So you know when you're moving, what's so beautiful about this is that we got multiple setups. Wherever I go, I could just turn on the live and start talking to the people. So, yo, Rich Player. So, we in the building. Shout out to MS363. We was out there yesterday for the kids. Hopefully we get something done. This is big time right now all across America, especially in New York City. This Tuesday we going for mayor, the primaries. We got a brother coming on today, Eric Adams. I'd rather get him in. Let me see. Celebrate good times. Come on. I'm trying to find Eric Adams for NYC. If y'all know another, because it ain't coming up. If y'all know another Instagram for Eric Adams, let me know. Let me see it right there, Adam, so I can know what the Instagram is. If not, Eric Adams, any of your people tuned in, you can send me a request on the Instagram right now so we can talk to the people. And so, of course, this is where it's at. This is the town hall, the public square. This is where you come to talk to the people. Brooklyn Batty, what's good?
8:15.
Oh, 8:15?
Good.
Okay, so I can talk my ish. Now, Greek the Freak has proven to be a lot for the Brooklyn Nets. A whole handful. This playoffs, I'm not a gambler, but I would not be gambling at all in these playoffs. It's really crazy what's going on out here. Kyrie hurt. Kawhi Leonard hurt. CP3 out with Corona. It's it's unstable. What I do know is Kevin Durant is the greatest player in the NBA. Can he answer Middleton? Can he answer Greek the Freak? I mean, let me tell you something. Life's beautiful, guys. Life is beautiful. No matter if you rich or poor, whatever. If you got good health, life is beautiful. Enjoy it, man. God has given us everything. I seen a school teacher today. That was my school teacher at Morris High School. He's the gym teacher. My brother, if I see you, if you know I'm talking to you, God bless you, man. He know me since I'm 13. He was like, yo, bro, 83, Morris High School. He was terror squad. I was like, oh my God. And he looked so great. Salam alaikum, my brothers. What's up? Yeah, so we out here. More life. You ain't lying. Titi Barber was good. Well, I mean, listen, guys. Somebody said, Joe, you don't know what you're talking about. My thing is, I'm not acting like I know everything. I can't know everything. I'm a regular human. What I can give you, shout out to Raul TS, Serge TS. What I can tell you is I just give you my mind and my opinion, and you take it like you want it. You take it like you want it. And so, we out here. You know, something that bugs me out every day is when we say, yeah, that's that blue magic. You know, you got the yondin and go with the yondin. You know what I'm saying? If we want to do the whole yondin, then everything go with the yondin. And, you know, positive vibes only. But my thing is, right, we OGs, we getting older, we know. And people tell me, yo, man, act your age, man. Yesterday I'm in the store, one of my friends I grew up with, beautiful guy. He comes in with his daughter. He's acting his age. He looks old as fuck. I'm like, damn. I don't think I could do that. I don't think I could do that. So I got to stay swaggy. I got to stay on my shit. I got to stay looking young as possible. I don't think it's a crime. And so when they say, yo, act your age, what do you want me to do? Wear a 10X hoodie and some bell-bottom jeans? Yo, Raul, what's up? Nah, I'm saying, yo, Raul, is we acting too young? Is we acting too young? Is we supposed to be like, do you hit an age where you just say, yo, I'm old, I'm washed up? I'm old, I'm washed up, that's it. I'm gonna act old. I can't go to a hot spot. I'm too old to go to a hot spot. I mean, let me know something.
Look.
Huh? The Blow Diggers is out? It's after 8?
And they're playing the Yonder.
And so, it's like, I don't know what to tell you. And so I'm thinking I'm doing a good thing representing the era. You know? And people, they checking out, man. I see guys my age coming through looking like, yo, my school teacher, he was my school teacher. He looked so incredible. But he was the PE teacher, the gym teacher. He's in shape, brand new Jordans, brand new. I said, damn, man, he's my teacher. I said, damn, man, he looking great. And so that's what we got to do.
He requested you. Check your request.
I don't see it. There you go. Let's see.
Without further ado.
Oh, my hairline been long gone since I was 15. Yo!
Yo, you know what, brother? You were dropping some science that a lot of people don't even realize the science you were just dropping. You know
Just
that?
now, I mean, kick it to me because I don't know what I'll be dropping sometimes.
Brother, let me tell you something. If brothers only knew what you just dropped on them. 4 years ago, type 2 diabetes, lost my sight in my left eye. The doctor said, Eric, you're going to be blind in a year. I had permanent tingling in my hands and feet. Turned out to be nerve damage from the diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, the whole package. They said, you know what, you get older, you're supposed to get this. It's in your DNA. It is what it is. And I said, you know what, I'm not going out that way. You know, I saw a mom injecting herself with insulin for 7 years, diabetic for 15. Dad just died from prostate cancer. My sisters and brothers, one lost a kidney because of diabetes. Another one was dealing with breast cancer. Another one was dealing with thyroid cancer. And I said, listen, I'm not going out this way, man. And I decided to say, let me do something different. I went to a computer and just Googled reversing diabetes. And all of a sudden, all this information came up. I partnered with a bunch of doctors and learned that if you just go to a different meals, eat the right food, within 3 weeks, Fat Joe, 3 weeks, my vision came back. 3 months, my diabetes went in remission. My nerve damage went away. I dropped 35 pounds. I don't have a six pack, man. I have a case, man. My body's so tight now. It's unbelievable. But let me drop this on the brothers, because this is what's going to get the brothers. Check this out. When you are dealing with health issues, chronic disease, and obesity, it not only clogs your heart, it also clogs your sexual organ. That's what ED is. ED is early detection of heart artery clogging. When you change that and clean your heart arteries, you're also cleaning the lowest veins in your body and your sexual organ. You don't need that blue pill. You need green broccoli, man. You know?
You know what's crazy is I never knew that. That's science for real. So
right.
ED is early detection for like your arteries clogging and all that. And once you get, you know, it's with everything. You know, if you know, we might be getting too graphic, but when you're working out and you're doing your cardio, you better you know, you gotta take care of your health. You gotta take care of your appearance.
You do.
What I was trying to say is that I had a brother come in here 2 days ago in my store, and he's my age. But yo, he got the thick glasses. He's looking all like, I'm like, yo, damn, man, you let yourself go, bro.
That's right. That's right.
And it's crazy. I mean, I want to look fly till I'm out of here. I don't know. And so, Eric, man, thank you for coming on here.
Yes.
I want to start by saying, too many of my friends love you, right? Too many of my friends love you. And whether you know it or not, they've been talking me up about you behind your back. And I mean from all walks of life. I mean, but shout out Eddie Caban, shout out Ruben Diaz Jr., shout out everybody who's been like, yo, Eric Adams is the man, Jimmy. Hey, Eric Adams the man. I mean, from everywhere, east to north to south. I get it. Eric Adams is the man. I get it, right? I like Ruben is on here. Eric Adams the man. There's nothing I can do about it. You're very resourceful, man. And you're like an octopus where you got arms all over. Like you reach all walks of life. Let's go to the obvious, right? So
yes,
you
sir.
was a cop.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so when I see you on TV, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yes.
I look at you. Before I had friends that was just like talking to me, I said, man, this guy's a cop.
Right.
I said, with no disrespect,
right.
This guy's a cop.
Right.
And we got beat up a lot, man. We got beat up a lot. We got, you know, and so I personally had to get over that hump and say, yo, let me really listen to this guy and let you know, me hear his story and all my friends telling me, yo, Joe, break down to us why you became a cop and what did you do in the police department to change the pretty much the DNA of the police department.
Well said, brother. Let me tell you something. When I was 13, a 10-year-old boy named Clifford Glover was shot in South Jamaica, Queens. And that was my first introduction to mobilizing and fighting against police misconduct. When I was 15, I was arrested in South Jamaica, Queens. And the two cops that arrested us, they didn't even say anything. They just took us downstairs and they kicked us in our groin over and over again. When I went to Spofford for the first night, the first thing I saw when I pissed in Spofford was blood coming from me peeing. Instead of urine, blood came out. When I was 18, a brother named Randolph Evans was shot and killed, and I marched and mobilized over the shooting of Randolph Evans. Then we saw the killing of Arthur Miller. Arthur Miller was a black prominent businessman. He was killed. And then Reverend Herbert Daughtry and other civil rights leaders came to 13 young brothers and said, we want y'all to go into the police department to fight from within. Listen, brother, I didn't want to do that. I was like, man, you trying to have me go back in the popo that beat me down? But I had so much respect for these brothers, these leaders. They were icons in our community. that I went in, started 100 Blacks in Law Enforcement. I was in the police academy when Eleanor Bumpus was shot. I used to leave the police academy in my recruit uniform and go up to the Bronx to protest against Sullivan murdering Eleanor Bumpus. So I've been doing this for so long, brother, and fighting on behalf of Black and brown people, because those leaders back then, they said, listen, you can't just fight from the outside. Some of you have to go in and fight from the inside. And that's what I did. And you know, when you do that, I used to go and protest at Rockefeller Plaza because of the draconian Rockefeller drug laws. And later I went to Albany with Ruben Diaz Jr. and we repealed the Rockefeller drug laws. And so we saw what we learned from being in policing. We knew how to go about and change the system, because all of us have been beat down. All of us have been. As mayor, they're not going to be able to play a game on me. I'm going to go in, get rid of those abusive cops in an expeditious fashion, and I'm going to change the ecosystem of public safety. Public safety is not just police. It is so many other pieces that have been ignored, like cure violence, conflict resolution, young organizations and groups, clergy task force. We can turn this around, brother. We can be safe, so we don't have the overproliferation of guns in our community, and we don't have the abuse of police officers in our community.
You know, Eric, if I could call you Eric.
Yes, please do.
You know, we have a serious problem in New York City, a very big disparity between the police department and regular civilians.
Right.
The other day, something I love to do is, if you see me out there, it's true. I've been doing this for years. When I'm in New York, I get in my car 12 midnight and I drive all over Brooklyn, Queens, the Bronx, Harlem, listen to WBLS, the old jams, and just soaking up the city and seeing everything. So Fat Joe does this on the regular when I'm in New York, right?
Right.
And so why I'm telling you this is I have my uncle with me, driving with me, and we were by a precinct under the train near Williamsburg and all that. And he said, man, I got to use the bathroom. Do you think I could go in the precinct? Do they have a bathroom in there to use? It was like 1 a.m.
Right.
I was like, yo, they're not going to let you in there to use the bathroom. And then I get to thinking, this is taxpayer money. We pay these people. How is there so much of a divide with the police that we scared to go use the bathroom in the precinct we pay for?
That's right, brother. That's right, man. That's right. And what you just dropped is powerful, because think about this for a moment. And that's why those elders were smart, because I was busy saying, I'm not joining no damn police department. And those elders sat down with me and said, think about this. When Black and brown people were having a problem in education, we told Black and brown people to go into education. When we were having a problem in healthcare, we told Black and brown young people to become doctors. The only place we don't say go and fight from within is policing. Yet we pay tax dollars to racists to police us, instead of saying, listen, we're going to get some of our soldiers from the community, go into the police department and stand firm. That's why 100 Blacks in Law Enforcement, we were no joke, man. These were kids and young people that grew up in NYCHA, grew up in the South Bronx. These were real soldiers, man. That's what we need to be doing. We should be walking up in these precincts saying we want to use the bathroom. We should be walking up and using, those are our tax dollars. You know what I'm saying?
No, it happened to me 2 nights ago. I'm driving in Brooklyn, listening to my BLS, Secret Lover. Uncle Dan is like, yo, I got to use the bathroom. It's a precinct right here. He's like, you think I go in the precinct, I could use the bathroom? And I'm like, nah, I don't think they're going to let you use the bathroom. But that's insane if they're supposed to protect and serve and we pay them.
That's right.
I just think it's hard. One of the problems and one of the issues I see, and we can talk about everything else, of accountability both ways. Because us as a Black and brown community, Black Lives Matter, but when Black people and brown people kill each other, we're not as vocal. So we need to be accountable in both ends, as well as the police. So when you got the guy who runs the union, you know, the guy with the slick hair back, He looked like he in the Godfather movie. But he's never seen a cop do nothing wrong.
Right.
In his life.
Right.
He has to, sooner or later, if we see son say, yo, you know, maybe this guy's wrong. Right?
Exactly.
And so we need some type of accountability. How are you going to be able to work with them and tell them, listen, there's a new sheriff in town, and I want to try it this way? He said Pat Lynch. Ruben Diaz said Pat Lynch.
Well said.
Yeah.
And I want to touch on that, but I want to go back for a moment. Because people say, well, you know what, Eric supports the use of stop and frisk. First of all, people are saying that don't understand the real word. It's called stop, question, and frisk. And the frisk is not what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to stop and question. Think about this, Brother Joe. 2 a.m. in the morning, you're pulling up to your house. Someone is standing out front, and they just put a gun in their waistband. Or anyone, you see your child getting ready to come in the house, you see someone put a gun in the waistband. When you call the police, you want them to stop and question that person. If the police can't stop and question people, when you call the police, you're setting your community up for failure. This is what police were doing. They were saying at the beginning of the night, they're going to stop people for a quota. They were stopping and frisking everybody. That's illegal. But you as a citizen, if you call the police because someone is about to break into your car, someone's about to break in your home, if you're telling that police officer they can't stop and question that person to say, hey, what you doing? You setting your community up for failure. And people need to understand what stop and question is. That's why I testified in federal court. The judge listened to my testimony and ruled against the New York City Police Department because of my testimony. I passed a bill in Albany that stated you could not keep the names of innocent people in a database when they were stopped. We got rid of that database thanks to Ruben and others. So when people start saying, well, Eric wants to stop and frisk to come back, listen, man, stop that. That's just a bunch of noise from people who are running for office. Look at my record. My record is clear, man.
Yeah, you know, I just think if they have, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get this light going, but if they have a debate and we're waiting and we're going over the greatest city in the world, the last thing to do is tell you, do you live in Brooklyn or Jersey? Like, let's get to some issues.
Right.
I mean, I would do better than that. And so,
but if people don't have a record, they don't want to talk about a record. I just gave you a record that started when I was 13. I've been doing this for over 40 years, brother, from being shot. Screwing with my paper, you know, when I was in, Ruben always
you know, that when we go back, Eric, when we go back and we say Giuliani, when he was the darling of the city, but I was going in them bullpens and they had 40, 50 black and brown people in there for drinking a beer, smoking a joint, petty crimes. And they was stopping and frisking. They was bragging about this is the cleanest city in the world, but it was really at the expense of black and brown people. Right. You see that? Was it Avalon Louima who got shot for pulling out his wallet 41 times?
Yeah, no, and that was Diallo. That was Diallo, and I know
that was Diallo.
Yeah, right. And that's where Ruben and I met, because we went up there to protest that shooting and sat in the courtroom. And Abner Louima endorsed me. Sean Bell's dad endorsed me. Today, Junior's mother endorsed me. You know, you look at all of these people who have been the victim of abuse or victims of gang violence and gun violence. They stand with me. I've been able to bring together people on both sides of this issue. Because let me tell you something, brother. I've knocked on doors and told families that their child was shot, killed, or died. I've never heard them say one time, we feel better if it was not done by the police or not done by a gangbanger. Listen, innocent people should not die, brother. And we're not going to feel better no matter who took the life of our family members and loved ones.
How can we get these kids out of being at the wrong place in the wrong time? Jobs, after school, arts programs. things to let these kids know that they're special, that they have a future, to not just think on impulse. That one wrong decision could mess up their whole life. They could go to jail for 30 years in prison. And so, you know, a lot of fathers are present, but a lot of them aren't present. You know, and when I talk to these young kids in the street, a lot of them is like, you know, my father wasn't there. My father ain't there, this and this and that. So what kind of a plan do you have to deal with peacekeepers like Erica Ford and some of the people we know that have been out there for 30 years trying to keep the gun violence down in Queens and all the communities? Like, what kind of plans do you have to help our youth move away from the violence and move away from the gang violence?
You know, today when Junior's mom endorsed me, I also had the largest and most prominent anti-violence teams, crisis management teams. They were there with me, and they said very clearly, we know Eric Adams. Eric has been on the streets with us, A.T. Mitchell and others, you know, Jackie Rowe Adams from Harlem Mother Saves, Guns Up, you know, Violence Down, all of these groups, brother, SOS. These are soldiers that I've really fought the battle with. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to change the ecosystem of public safety. Public safety is not just police. Public safety is using these crisis management teams, mental health professionals, youth groups, and organizations. And we're going to put money into them. So when they hit the streets and they tell young people to put down their guns, they're going to also give them a pathway to a job. We're going to open video game rooms in these storefronts so our children can not only learn how to play the games, but also the economics behind the games. That's a multi-billion-dollar industry. We can't be just consumers. We're going to show our young people how to start businesses by using the peacekeepers on the streets, one-on-one, round the clock. When I hit the streets, I don't hit the streets during 9 to 5. I'm out in the streets 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, pulling up, talking to young people, giving them the opportunities that they desire. So that is how we're going to do this. We're going to change this whole conversation, not to be reactive and wait until a young person has a body, but get them before they have that body and show them a pathway out of gangs. I've been meeting the last 2 years. I've been meeting with some of the top gang members in the city behind the scene, closed doors, and talking about how do we turn this around? Use your credible messenger status to start moving our community in another direction, because we all in the gang one way or another. The question is, are we in the gang doing something wrong, or are we in the gang doing something right?
You know, I went up to a school yesterday in the Bronx, and I want your people to write this down. MS363, beautiful kids. They contacted me in the DM. I was in Miami. They contacted me and said, Joe, you from the Bronx, please. They're trying to take our schoolyard and build a new school there. So it's a junior high school, and they have 1 yard. I mean, New York City is so dense.
Yes.
It's so populated that we barely have schoolyards. So they have a schoolyard, and they're trying to take the schoolyard and build an elementary school on there, and they will no longer have a schoolyard. Now, we got diabetes in our community. We got asthma. We got record-breaking diseases with these kids, so they need to be able to exercise and stuff. What would you say about these kids that's trying to save their yard?
Listen, we're going to stop that building from being built. You have my commitment. You can tell those young people, if Eric Adams is their mayor, that building is not going up. They're going to keep their school. They're going to keep their schoolyard, and we're going to open up spaces for them. You know what I'm saying? Because listen, we feed our crises. Tell me something. How do you have the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene fighting against childhood obesity, diabetes, and asthma, but every day we're feeding our babies 960,000 meals, and those meals cause diabetes, asthma, and obesity? We're feeding the crises to our children, and we're going to turn that around, brother. You know, we're not going to be a city that creates crises. We're going to be a city that prevents crises. There's a saying that Archbishop Desmond Tutu said years ago. He said, we spend a lifetime pulling people out of the river. No one goes upstream. and prevent them from falling in the first place. All we do is hang out downstream and pull people out of the river. Lack of education, healthcare, homelessness, mental health illness. Brother, do you know if we just do dyslexia screening in schools, do you know 30% of Rikers Island prison population, they are dyslexic? 55% have a learning disability. So we just give people the resources when they're in school. They won't hit the streets slinging drugs, doing stick-ups, and be out in the street and end up in Rikers Island. There's no desire to turn this around, brother. We're going to turn this around.
Let me ask you something, Eric Adams, right? Because I'm looking at you. Obviously, you're a black man. There's been so many studies. I don't like talking like this, but, you know, fear of the black man, fear of this. How do you plan? Because right now, you singing Sweet Chariots to our community, but there's another community watching too. It's called the white community.
Right.
How do you get the white people to believe you and be behind you? The Jews in Brooklyn, the Italians, the Irish. How do you get them to commit to you? Because part of co-signing or endorsing or voting, just voting for somebody is believing that everybody will vote, because we can't just win one way or another.
You know what's interesting, brother? My narrative is the same. I don't care if I'm in a corporate boardroom or if I'm in a Brownsville or the South Bronx. Let me tell you why my narrative is the same. Because affluent whites and middle-class whites, they realize we're wasting their tax dollars. They realize that no one is fixing this problem. Anytime we have to continue to address the same problems, it's coming out of their paycheck. That's why taxes keep going up. And so now Eric is coming along and say, listen, this city can run more efficiently. We need to end inequalities, because if we don't, people are going to keep kicking your taxes up. So they're doing it because they realize that if we don't fix the problem, they're never going to turn this around. Let me tell you something. Crime is killing our tourism system. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. No one is coming to New York if a 3-year-old shot in Times Square. You know, no one is going to open a company if people are being pushed on the subway tracks or slashed. So they realize your prosperity and the prosperity of that kid in Brownsville is attached to their prosperity. So they understand what I'm saying. You want your taxes to stop increasing all the time? We need to become more efficient as a city, and we have to end inequality. If Bebe don't get a job, your taxes are going up. Bebe needs to be employed so he can pay into the tax pool, and we don't stop hitting you over the head and impacting.
You hear me?
Did I lose your
Yeah,
voice?
no, that's people calling you. Right? Very busy these days. I know, I've been doing this so long. I know. A good question is, yeah, I've been doing this a while. I know they blowing you up. You're on the Fat Joe show. They want to get a shout out, son. Don't worry about it, Eric Adams for New York City Mayor. Listen, I live in Miami. Every New Yorker I know is living and moving to Florida. All the money is going down there. Now, how do we get people back to New York City to open businesses and bring back New York City? Because I know due to COVID, looking at New York City, Eric, could you hit the light? Looking at New York City right after the COVID, I remember these old commercials. This is for old people watching. These old commercials that would come on after the honeymoon. You remember TV used to cut off, and they used to have the Indian guy, and he's looking at the streets, and it's all polluted, and he would have that tear in his eye because, you know, right. America was the Indian territory. Yeah, so when I drive up Madison Avenue and I see all these stores that were so beautiful and brought the tourism here, they all gone. What incentives are you doing to bring them back to the city, to lift the city back up, the economy, the ecosystem?
Right. There you go, brother. And know what's interesting? I sit down and I speak to many of our high-income earners. You know that only 65,000 people pay 51% of our income taxes. When I sit down and I talk to them, know what they tell me? They say, Eric, listen, we can deal with the taxes. We can't deal with the violence. I'm afraid for my children to walk the streets. I'm afraid to go out to the restaurants. If we don't get this crime under control and start getting people back to work, people are going to leave our city. First, we're going to become a safe city. We're going to become a fair city. And then we're going to attract businesses. You know, as a businessman, this city is too expensive, too bureaucratic, and too difficult to do business in. We incentivize harming businesses, particularly our nightlife establishment and the Black and brown community. Those days are over. Anytime you see an agency walk into your business as a businessman, you're not going to have anxiety. You're going to have comfort because they're going to be there to tell you how to keep your doors open so you can hire the employees to pay into our tax pool and move into middle class. We're going to have a different energy in this city, and we're going to attract everything from technology, self-driving cars, drone development, biotech. We're going to look at all these new businesses like Miami is doing. New York is back and ready to open business, but we're going to hire from the inner communities. We're not going to let the city build up and the young people in Brownsville, in the South Bronx, and South Jamaica, Queens, their future go down. We're going to change this game, man. I know how to turn the city around.
Eric Adams, you've been around a long time. I've been watching you a long time. The question I keep coming in my mind, and I wrote no questions down for you. I said, I'm going to be straight shooter with this guy. We're going to talk from the heart. We're going to talk like real New Yorkers. And I swear, I usually, I said, no, nothing. I said, we going at it, right? And I say, why? Why does Eric Adams want this job? This guy, de Blasio, they have been killing him and roasting him. I mean, I don't even know how New York is such a, basketball player, scared to come over here. The pressure, the media, the this. I mean, I go to dinner with Ruben, and they cursing us out in the dinner. We go over here. I mean, no, because there's one thing about politics. When these people vote for you, or even if you get elected and they don't vote for you, these people think they own you. For real, like they're talking to you while you eating dinner, I'm like, this is such a tough town to be the #1 guy. Why do you want to be mayor of New York City?
You know what, brother? And let me drop this on you, brother Joe. And I just want to plug up this charger. I went through my entire public school experience. Being bullied because they used to call me the dumb kid. I used to get D's all the time. I was the last to leave the classroom. I could never comprehend the information, and teachers called me lazy. People called me names. I was in college in a remedial course, sitting in the library studying my rear off, when all of a sudden I heard in the next aisle somebody was doing listening to a documentary on learning disabilities. I said, damn, do I got a learning disability? I took out the documentary and I learned that I did. And I was able to overcome that learning disability. I went from a D student to being on the Dean's list throughout my entire college career. But I was lucky. How many people, young people like me coming from the inner city, are not that lucky? If you don't educate, you will incarcerate. You can't be lucky in the city. You can't be lucky that your baby was not shot by some stray bullet. You can't be lucky that you were not stopped and brutalized by police, or you won a lottery to get housing, or lucky you live in the right zip code to get adequate health care, or lucky that you have a small business and the right inspector comes in and not try to close your stuff down. The city can't be about luck. It has to be about opportunity. And I believe God blessed me with that learning disability so I could understand what it's like to be abused, beat up, called names, wrote about, and all of those things. He made me Teflon now. There's nothing someone could do to me or say to me because I already been through the fire. Now it's time for me to use that experience to make sure Erica, Eric, Jose, and Pedro They don't sit somewhere and they're denied the resources they need so they can prosper and not just be lucky. That's why I want to be the mayor. I'm going to turn this around, brother. And people may not believe it because we're in a country where we're in the business of breaking black and brown boys to become broken black and brown adolescents and broken black and brown men. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be gone, man. Only reason I'm here is because I ran faster than Henry. You know what I'm saying? But the reality is I'm here. God made me for such a time like this, and I'm going to show America how you stop having black and brown people live in institutional poverty. We're going to get it right. The Chicago South Side is going to get it right. Compton is going to get it right. Atlanta is going to get it right. Detroit is going to get it right. I'm going to turn around America's big cities, and I know I can do it, and I'm ready to do it.
You know, I think of mental illness. When we ride around the city, might be 125th in Lexington, might be 34th Street outside the train station, the post office. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Mental illness and homelessness.
Yes.
Is there some sort of a plan to deal with the health crisis and the mental illness and the homelessness in New York City, to get them on their feet, to see them?
We're gonna clean it up in a year, brother. This is what we're doing now. We tell people with mental, when you think of street homelessness, you're thinking about mental health illnesses. They don't want to go in shelters because they are abused, they are attacked. So what we're going to do, we're going to give them the wraparound services, the supportive services they deserve. We're going to rebuild trust. There's a great organization called Fountain House with a 85% stability rate, where they're able to stabilize people who were formerly street homeless. Then we're going to build halfway houses for brothers and sisters who are coming home from upstate. If you put someone back in the same condition when they went upstate, they're going to do the same thing that sent them up in the first place. So we're going to build supportive housing, transitional housing. We have it on the federal level. We don't have it on the state level or the city level. So when brothers come home or sisters come home, we're going to give them the job training. We're going to give them the documentations that they need, you know, the ID cards. We're going to make sure we don't put them back in the same atmosphere that caused them to create the crime in the first place.
How about jail reform on nonviolent crimes? People who sent up there, we just got kicked in the ass by the Supreme Court this week, where the one thing I thought Trump did good, the First Step Act or whatever that's called, but they said it doesn't appeal to low crack offense dealers, and to me that meant black and brown people. We're not covered in that law. How can you work within the system,
right,
to get people home who are in jail for long times that they don't deserve? Because part of the whole entire problem with these kids and this gang violence and everything is broken homes. The fathers or the mothers are in jail doing 10 years for something that they might have learned their lesson in 1 year.
Right.
How do you plan on creating a system to bring people home with nonviolent offenses?
That's a big thing for me. Nonviolent offenses, I don't believe people should be sitting in jail for a long period of times. That's a big thing for me. And what we must do now is the time to partner with our state lawmakers. When people are inside, let their sentence be get a vocational skill, plumbing, license, carpentry, or a degree. That's your sentence. Your sentence is not 10 years. No. You invest in yourself becoming a licensed plumber, licensed carpenter, licensed electrician, we cut your sentence in half. Because now you're going to become a tool in society and not a tool against society. We need to stop having broken people leave correctional facilities. If we incentivize picking up that skill so you can cut your time down, that is going to motivate people to get the skills they need so they can be a productive citizen in society instead of someone that's taken away from society.
I got one last question for you. It's been an honor. Knicks or Brooklyn Nets?
Brother, don't get me in trouble, man. You know I gotta do Nets.
I try to pull a seat from under you. I don't know. I'm Knicks, man. I don't know, man. Eric, I want to tell you, you've been putting in the work and the shows. You've been out there. You've been talking to the people. The people been talking to me, right? So when Fat Joe, he gets on, he talks for the voiceless. I don't need no money. I make money, right? So I'm not bought or paid for. I don't have a boss. So I'll come on here and talk whatever I want to talk. But I'm very impressed by what you're doing. I really, really want you to go out there and work with these peacekeepers so we can change this around with our youth. And I'm glad you explained, because so everybody could understand. Yes. Eric Adams, I believe, told me he's not for stop and frisk. He's for stop and question.
Right. Exactly.
So, all right. So all my activists out there.
And when a civilian call, not when police is just rolling up on people. If you call and say there's something that's happening, that's the power. And you have to use the body camera when you're doing it so we can document exactly that you do it legally.
Okay, he's for strip. He's for stop and question, right? Number two is, the only thing I can tell you from my standpoint is, like I told you the first question, for anybody who just got here, I said, Eric, all these years I looked at you like you was a cop. No, I'm being honest with you. Right. Even if there's 100 black cops going against, I'm like the man, the police, right? And so everybody trying to tell me, yo, he for the people. I'm telling you, he fighting. And you explain to us, because I want to talk, because I know some people got here late, and they obviously didn't hear what we're talking about. I'll ask you one last question. My oldest son is autistic. Shout out to Puzzle Life. I just showed his gloves earlier. A lot of special needs kids are like the little kid that got killed. I forget what state. They get frightened with certain things, bright lights. The cops stopped them. He had a Walkman on. They killed him, right? What I do know is not just in New York. When these kids, the autistic kids, get out of school, they never have nowhere to go after high school. So they say bye. Right. So you either stay home, you ain't have, and then some of the facilities they might have are all dirty and filthy. A lot of these autistic kids and parents, they ain't got a voice like me to talk up for them, and they all on here, right? They all on here. And what can we do to help the autistic kids in New York City? Because we got a lot of them. That's and a lot of parents. I mean, this is a real battle. This is a real burden, raising these kids and keeping these kids. What can we do to help them?
Yeah, so true, brother. I'm partnering with a young lady. You should look up her name. Her name is Lucina Clark, and she has an organization called My Time, Inc. She helps parents from the time their child is diagnosed. She helps them navigate the system and get the resources. The city's unfriendly to parents with special need children. Behind every child with special needs, there's a special parent. Let me tell you something. It's hard raising children alone, period. So imagine, as you know, when your child has special needs. We are going to have everything from after-school programs that's going to focus on children who are autistic and children with special needs. We're going to use gym spaces in our schools. We're going to make sure parents don't have to sue the city to get resources. We're going to give them those resources. This is going to be one of the most friendly cities for children with special needs and children who need learning disabilities and other issues. We're going to pour everything into these families because they have a right to expect the best for their children.
Thank you so much, Eric Adams. Good luck on Tuesday. Everybody, you heard the man. Go out there on Tuesday. Go vote. Eric Adams for mayor. Peace, my brother. God bless, man. All right, man. Thank you. And you guys don't know who I know. Eric Adams is out there I see your girl, Erica Ford, the warrior, the peacekeeper. She's saying Ray McGuire. Fat Joe says Isaac Wright Jr. But Eric Adam is putting in the work out there, Erica. He's out there. And everywhere I go, they talking to me about this guy. And so he's out there. So if you have another horse in the race, another candidate, you better get him out there. Because this guy's out there. That's all I can say. He's doing the work. I'm telling you, he's in the streets, Erica. He's in the streets. I love you, Erica. I love you. You know that. Ruben Diaz, man, you something else. Ruben Diaz, we got to hold him, man. The man said he going to help. If he becomes mayor, he got to help that MS 363, these kids, keep their yard and upgrade the yard. I'm willing to put money to upgrade the yard. Shout out to Booby. Yo, Booby, text me your brother's name, the guy who died up here in Sugar Hill, the basketball player, played in Oregon. He died 2 days ago. And everybody out here loves the guy. Your white one, what is your brother's name? What is the guy's name? So I want to represent him for real. I know you sent me the info in my text, but live is different. Oh, yeah, we love Erica Ford. I mean, you know, it is what it is, man. We, I chose Isaac Wright because I never heard of nothing like that. A man who went to jail falsely accused, became a lawyer, represented himself. Now he's a lawyer. Everybody got who they go for. But at the end of the day, if there's one clear front runner after Tuesday, we got to start thinking about how we support the person who reflects our community. Yo, I love you, Erica. Erica, boy, she got the afro, the right business. No, I'm telling you, yo, Erica's something else, man. And so, white one, TWO, tell me your guys' name. Let me see if Tess move on here. Cheer up Erica, because she ready to kill something. I mean, with peace, because that's what she deal with. Peace. Yo, Wild Cherry,
Yeah.
Pepsi Fridays.
Wow.
Yo.
Wild Cherry. Wild Cherry.
Yes, please,
I'm here, bro.
We've been talking so much real stuff, and we've been so serious. Lighten the mood, man.
Yo, I like that talk, man. He was talking some good stuff, J.J. I can't even hold you, man.
Hey,
Can't
man,
even hold you.
So we got so many. I am Jay. What's up, baby?
You remember?
We got so many people who's so passionate about this mayor's race. And they all my family, and they going ham over here. Lucky Church, what's up? They losing their minds. Could we get some Cool in the Gang? Because it was, really, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't want to say groupied out, but let's just say I was starstruck yesterday.
I mean, come
talking
on.
to Robert Cool. I couldn't believe that I even got to talk to this man. And so,
I got a funny story, Joe. You want me to tell you a funny story?
Yes, sir.
The girl that DM'd me is a good friend of mine. Her name is So Lovely. She actually a DJ. She hit me up a long time ago, said, yo, my uncle, my cousin, whatever, he's cool from Cool. Can I get him to Fat Joe show? Everybody, my DM be crazy with people that want to get him to Fat Joe show. I let you know that. So I was like, listen, man, I think Joe would like that because it's Cool in the Gang. I clicked up with Rich. Rich hit you. You got Cool on the show.
Oh, wow. I didn't know it came like that.
You know, some light, you know what I
mean? Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad you made it happen because, after getting Kenny Burke, it made sense. You just started going on your, I mean?
Yeah, you know what I said? I said, listen, when I see the man's face on my IG,
classic.
I kind of lost it. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. I kind of was like, oh my God. Like,
it's classic.
What is the man doing? Let's play that music.
Let's get to it.
You remember? much money, man. I owe you too much money, man. You went overtime today.
OT.
Wild
We good.
Cherry Pepsi.
Wow. You see
God
it.
bless you, my brother. I'ma holla at you later. Thank
Love,
you
you
for
already
what
know.
you do for us each and every Friday.
Likewise, bro. Appreciate you, you heard?
Just to shake face. Do remember. Peace, my brother.
Yes, sir.
Listen, guys, you done got 2 shows for the price of 1. And the price of 1 was free. Let your darkest moments bring your most clarity. If you're going through something, hard times, people ain't with you. They don't stand right next to you. When you get back on your feet, because there's no such thing as failures, only lessons. When you get back on your feet, remember them people really ain't your people. Otherwise, you're lying to yourself. Number 2, love God. Believe in God. You have your own relationship tailor-made with God. Talk to him. He wants to bless you. Ask him for the rainbow, the moons, the stars. He's going to hand it to you. Believe in God in the bad times when you need him and the good times. We the biggest in the game. Joe Crack. See you Monday. Peace.